All right, folks, we're going to just jump shift now. We're going to talk about stock market. And we got a hot market up today, and that's 11 straight wins for the Dow. I think it's for the S&P. I think it's for everything. Year to date, it's up. I don't know. David Bahnsen is going to tell us right here. And let's go. David Bahnsen is going to tell us, and Pete Najarian is going to tell us. Pete is a co-founder of Market Rebellion. David is manager. No free lunch. Pete, you're the furthest away. So how hot is this market? This is going to be fun. We got a sprint. David's here on set, and you're in someplace, I'm going to guess Minneapolis. If that's not true, don't tell me. I hope you're not in Delaware, by the way. Anyway.
I'm not in Delaware on that bridge.
All right, don't go over that bridge because it's a black hole. Can this rally last? That's what I really want to know, because I want the non-rich to get rich. So is this rally going to last or not?
I think it could, Larry. And the reason I say that is that I think we are already starting to see at the very beginning of July, we're starting to see a bit of a rotation, right? We all talked about the NASDAQ and the performance that it's had, and it's been absolutely extraordinary. But we're talking about technology, we're semiconductors. We're also looking at anything that had the letters AI attached to it. Those were the names that were actually leading the markets the way they did. Now we're starting to see financials are leading, energy's leading, materials are leading, and we're starting to see that start to roll over. And I think from that perspective, yes, that's why we're seeing the Dow perform the way it has over the last, I think you said 11 days. It's been very, very impressive. And I think that there is something to it. And a lot of that is what we are already seeing right now out of earnings. And we always kick it off with financials. So far, so good. Even the regional banks are contributing very nicely right now. They've bounced off of some of those lows as well. So I think there is something to be said for the health of the market right now in terms of what we're seeing from that rotation.
All right, Dave Bahnsen, so the rally is broadening out, which is important. Does the Federal Reserve meeting they'll make their announcement on Wednesday, does that matter?
Not in the short term. If they're going to continue hiking after this, you got to think they'll end up breaking something, and they just haven't yet. Corporate profits seem to have bottomed at the end of 22 from their drop, and if they only drop 7-8% from peak to trough, that's pretty benign. That's not recessionary.
The Fed wants to break something.
The Fed wants to break something.
That's their goofy, stupid economic models with 1,000 PhDs.
Well, and what it is a philosophy.
They're all from Delaware. Sorry.
Yeah. They believe that inflation is caused by economic growth, and it's insane.
Too many people working.
Too many people working, too many people producing. Yep. It's the opposite of what you and I believe economically. I think that the bad news on the market front is, profits are down 5% and the S&P's up 20. How does that happen? The multiple's up 25%. You've got an S&P at 20 times earnings. It's hard to get a lot of multiple expansion past that for the market to get richer. So I think what Pete said's right. You need a broadening of the market, things into the utilities, healthcare, consumer staples. They had not been participating. They're doing better now. Financials look good. So that's what is. You can't have AI and NASDAQ pull the whole market all year. It won't work.
Pete, just two things that are out there that are potential negatives. One is the yield curve remains deeply inverted. Historically, that has been a recession signal, okay? A lot of people on Wall Street say this time is going to be different. I don't know. A lot of people always say this time is going to be different. Second point is the old Conference Board's index of leading indicators, which I might add includes the S&P 500. But that thing's down 15 straight months, Pete Najarian. And they are calling for a recession by the end of this year and into next year. Those two things could derail the bull market or what? You tell me.
Well, they could, obviously, but I would say this. Recession is not depression. And I think so many people actually use that term recession, and people's immediate reaction is, oh, gosh, we're going to be in depression. I would actually challenge everybody to say this. About a year ago, I think we were in a recession then. I don't think we're seeing one right now, as a matter of fact. I think
that was the recession. That was the recession a year ago because of the inflation shock and other negatives. I mean, that's a good insight.
But nobody wanted to call it that, right?
I did. It was two straight quarters of negative GDP. Some other people did. I mean, he makes an interesting point. Everyone's looking for the recession that may have already happened.
See, I've used the analogy to 2002's recession, where it was very shallow. You did have 2 quarters.
Right.
You had 2 quarters of negative GDP growth.
Right.
But most of the job losses were in what? Technology.
Right.
A lot of the country didn't know you were in recession.
Overbuilt technology.
Now, I will say, look, if corporate profits don't drop, wages don't drop, and jobs don't drop, if that's a recession, I guess we'll take it. And that's what we were a year ago. There were other, as you point out, external economic shocks going on with inflation.
Last one, real quick. Oil is up $11 this month.
$11
is that
in a month.
significant in your world outlook?
Yeah, first of all, we're big energy investors, so we kind of like it. Second of all, it's the one area where you don't see disinflation right now. And energy could disrupt the narrative, and we'll see how serious the Fed is. Are they targeting core or headline? Because headline's been coming way down, and they keep raising. Now with core, it may be coming down, and the oil going the other way. So I just think that this is a very bad narrative for the Biden administration of oil going higher.
Pete Najarian, would you please get yourself here on set? Stop hanging out there in Minnesota or wherever it is. Just get yourself on set. You're an awful smart fella, and you're a good guy. David Bonson, we love having you as always.